Look, if I had 30 days to make $10,000, this is exactly what I would do. Now, this video is for you, ideally, if you already have an existing business, whether that's like a coaching program or a consulting offer, or like, for example, you sell a course or info product, or like a marketing or advertising agency selling done-for-you services. This strategy, what I'm gonna share with you is you're gonna absolutely crush it with this. Let's dive straight in and let's get in here. Now, the very first thing that you must do to get this whole process right is we have to define some of the, what I call business variables. Now, number one is you have to define and you need to narrow down your niche. This is going to work extremely well if you narrow down your niche and you get really focused. Most of the time, I found people that are maybe at that 5-10K a month mark, or they're not quite there yet. They're in a place where they don't actually focus in on one niche, okay? And so and you probably heard this, the riches are in the niches. That's the number one thing you need to do first is define that. Who are we targeting? Who are we going after? Because if you want to make 10K, we need to get in front of them. We need to put a right offer in front of them, and we need to then get them on a call and then sign them up, okay? So number one is define the niche, define who you're going after. Number two is you need to define the problem. What problem, what pain, what frustration is this person going through? So define the problem. Now, number three is you need to define the transformation. What is the desired result, the desired outcome that this person wants, whether it's more leads, more sales, whether it's, becoming more fit, losing weight, whatever the case would be. You need to define the actual transformation, the outcome that you're delivering to your prospect. And then what you need to do is you need to find the actual mechanism, or what I call the mechanism, which is like your product and service and what you're actually going to be delivering them. So the what you're going to be delivering them, and the price point in which you're going to be selling at. And you may, again, already have some clients. You maybe already have it at a certain price point, but you need to define these different variables. So simply, what I want you to do is pull up a Google Doc. Now note in all of this, I didn't say how you're going to deliver it, because again, if you already have it, you should know how to do it. But if you don't, you got to just then go get clients, and then you can deliver from there. And I'll show you what that, but you should be focused on selling and generating clients before you actually think about that. You can have a high level outline of like what it is you're offering, but you should be focused on getting the client and then working like hell to go out and actually generate them the result once you get them in the client and they paid you money. Now, this whole process should take you about 30 minutes of like just focused thought. It shouldn't take you any longer. I see people taking like literally weeks, sometimes even months just to define these things, and they never do it, even years before defining these things. So literally what I want you to do is just pull up a Google Doc, so you can see a Google Doc in front of me, and literally just type it out. What is the niche? What is the problem, right? What is the transformation, right? And then you want to go into what it is, so your mechanism. So this is what I would refer to as your mechanism, which is like your product or service. So you're going to define what that is, and then you're going to define the price point. So these are the main business variables that you have, and then we're going to go into more depth on like what channels we're going to be using. But first, pull up a Google Doc, just define these things. What's the niche? What's the problem, right? Why is it a problem? Why are they in this painful, why is it frustrating for them to be in this situation? And like think about the consequence of them if they don't solve this problem. What is it going to do to them, right? And then define again the transformation. Why do they want this, etc. Define those things. And for your mechanism, obviously you want to go into like, is it a coaching program, right? Are you offering coaching, or is it a consulting? Is it an info product? Is it a done-for-you service? Like what is it exactly that you're offering to them? And high level, like what is it, right? So kind of list it out. Okay, it's a program. It's going to be this amount of length. It's going to be this time frame, right? So you want to just map those things out. Again, it doesn't have to be too detailed, but you just need to know what it is that you're selling. That's going to inevitably get your prospect to see that you can help solve that problem, get the desired transformation. And then again, once you sell them in, which I'll show you how to do in a second, that's how you're going to start to then deliver and start to generate some cash flow to then, work like hell, get them in, get some clients, and then actually get them the result. Now, for your price point, it should be between around 3 to 10K. So around $3,000 is like what I think is like the minimum, especially if you sell high ticket. If you don't sell high ticket yet, you should increase your price. Right now, it's a minimum 3K. So if it's less than 3K, raise it to at least 3K. Whether it's a monthly service or whatever, I'm going to show you how to actually sell, even if you do done for you at like 3, 6, even like 12K price point to your prospects, right? And I'll show you how you can do that in a minute, but it should be about 3 to 10K. Okay, so whatever it is that you sell, again, if you sell a coaching or consulting offer or done for you marketing agency or advertising, it should be at least 3 to 10K. Okay, so that should be your price point. So you're going to jot it down and define that as a variable. Now, depending on your niche, you're likely going to be using one of these ones. So LinkedIn organic, Facebook organic, Instagram organic, or outbound email, or a combination of the few. So to give you an example, let's say that you offer a done-for-you marketing service for like home service-based businesses, so like home improvement, plumbers and things like that. Well, you're likely going to use LinkedIn organic and outbound email, right? And let's say that maybe you have a coaching program or a coaching offer for like high performance for entrepreneurs. Well, you're probably going to be using LinkedIn and Facebook organic, okay? So it depends on your niche, but think about from this, where does your niche conglomerate? Where do they hang out? Where are they? Another example, let's say you're an advertising agency for e-commerce businesses. Well, you're probably going to be using LinkedIn and you're probably going to be using Instagram. I see a lot of e-com businesses on Instagram, and so you're going to be using those organic. So by organic, I mean you're going to be reaching out to them, and I'll show you how to do that later on in this video, but you're going to be reaching out to them and then booking them into a call and then moving them across the process to inevitably enroll them as a client, okay? So you're going to be using ideally one of these channels or a combination of a couple of them, okay? So you need to define the traffic channels that you're going to be using to reach out to your niche, okay? Now what we need to do is reverse engineer our targets, okay? So right now you need to know, okay, I want to make 10K. And this was the thing for me for the longest time. And any time that I set goals and I set targets and I set these things, you need to reverse engineer it. So say you want to make 10K or 50K in a month or 100K in a month. Again, I'm using the example of 10K because you can go do this in the next 30 days, right? And so what the 100K, it's going to take, about 6 months. I think you could get there if you're already around that 10K mark. But with this process here, we need to reverse engineer it. Just by saying you want to make 100K a month or $1 million a year or 50K a month or 10K in a month, you need to know, okay, well, what does it take for me to get there? Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to reverse engineer the targets. So you probably heard this before, but I do this for the entire year. I do this for my yearly planning. I do this for everything. So one thing, let's say we want to make $10,000. That's our kind of overall goal. Well, now, okay, well, at our current price point, let's say price point is 3,000, just because I'm giving you the minimum. We need roughly about three and a half clients. Okay, right? Roughly 3 clients. Let's just say 4 clients, right? So we need 4 clients at 3K. Right? Maybe it's one we'll do a payment plan, right? So let's say we want to do 4 clients at 3K, and let's say you have a coaching offer. Well, at this time, okay, we need 4 clients. So we need 4 units. So we need basically 1 client per week, right? So we need 4 clients. Now from here, we need to look at, okay, now once we know how many units and how many clients we need to get, we need to determine how many calls do we need to do. So if you're watching this video, you likely do sales calls, right? You usually close over the phone. So here we need to go into, okay, how many sales calls do we need to do and how many do we need to generate? So what you want to do here is you want to start to reverse engineer it. So if you want 4 clients, okay, well, let's say that in order to get those 4 clients, let's just say your closing rate is, I'll be conservative because, it depends. But let's say you're closing, you're off your game, whatever, and you're closing at 15%, okay? So let's just say 15%. I would say standard's like 20, but let's just say 15%, and we'll do some math. So let's say you're closing at 15% closing rate. Then you would need to do basically 4 divided by 0.15. You need to do basically 26 sales calls, okay? So you need to have roughly 26 sales calls that you actually take. So now we're going to factor in, let's say you have about a 75% show up rate, right? So now out of those 26, you need to divide that by 0.75. So that's about 35 calls booked, right? So we need about 35 calls booked this month. And so in order to hit that 10K, and again, it's going to be, I'm giving you very conservative numbers here, but let's just say that's what you need to hit, right? 35 calls you need to book. So let's say you need 35 calls booked. So now we need to know, okay, how many people we need to reach out to get those calls, right? And so it's really just about, if we divide that by 35 divided by 30 days, we need to book basically 1 to 2 calls per day, right? But let's say, let's do 7 days a week, right? But let's just say you do it 5 days. So let's say 5 days, you book that, 30 divided by, let's say 20 working days. So you need, roughly 2 calls a day, right? So you need roughly 1 to 2 calls booked every single day. So now that we know our target, so now we know we need to get 35 calls booked in the month. So that's about 1 to 2 calls booked per day. We need to take around 26 of those calls, and we need to close 4 of them, right? At 3K. And so that's what we need to do, okay? So it's very simple. Now, how do we do this? So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to utilize one of these traffic channels that we determined beforehand. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start outbound prospecting these prospects so we can book these calls. So again, depending on the channel, right? I mean, we master LinkedIn organic, so we really just focus on that, and we help our clients with that. We also have a Facebook organic strategy and outbound email. We don't really focus too much on Instagram, but the channel does not matter. What matters is the principles on what you're doing, okay? So for here, you're going to be reaching out to them. It doesn't matter what channel you use. Obviously, there's going to be slight nuances based on the channel, but the same principles apply. And so all you need to do really is you need to reach out to about minimum, I would say 20 to 30 people per day. Now, let's say you're reaching out to 20 to 30 people a day, and let's say on the baseline you can convert 10% of those people into calls. You're booking 1 call a day, right? If you can then increase that conversion rate to book more calls, then you're going to obviously get more people onto the phone with you, right? So out of those 20 to 30 people a day, you need to be booking 2 of those people, right? So out of those 30, you need to book 2 of them, okay? So very, very doable. And then every single day, you're going to wake up every morning around 9 a.m., 10 a.m., you're going to be doing this outbound prospecting. 30 days straight, you're going to be doing 20 to 30 people a day. That's just like baseline. That's what I would do every single day. And before you say like, oh, I got to reach out and I got to do all this stuff, I'm going to show you how you can boost this and how you can do a promotion to get people to come to you and start booking calls, okay? So don't worry about that. I'm going to show you that right now. But here is you need to just reach out to them, outbound prospect, create conversations, right? So get them to reply back, and then you're going to book them into a call, okay? And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on like how you actually do this. If you want more detail on that, comment below, or you can reach out to me and I can show you exactly how you can do this. But really, you just got to reach out to them and really just focus on the activity, right? And increase your activity. So if you're reaching out to 20 to 30 people a day, and this is per channel, right? So say you're reaching out to 20 people on LinkedIn or 30 people on LinkedIn and 20 to 30 people on Facebook, you should be able to convert, even if you're converting now, let's say you're reaching out to 60 people a day and you're still converting at, let's say 5%, you're booking 3 people into a call, okay? So you think about the outreach and the amount of volume you're doing, you just need to be doing more outreach, more activity, and you're inevitably going to get more people that will reach out to you, okay? And obviously it depends on your messaging and how you're responding to them and all that stuff, but if you just do the activity, it's going to come back to you and you're going to start to book these people into appointments, okay? Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to start running promotions, okay? So a lot of people, they just kind of rely on these things and they don't actually run true promotions. So actually promoting your business and doing it in the right way, that's actually going to result in people coming to you, wanting to learn more, and then eventually paying you and signing up for your program or your service, whatever the case may be. But you need to run promotions. People need to know about it. You need to get people engaged and then actually start to convert them into calls, okay? And so I highly recommend that you do about 1 to 2 live webinars in a 30-day period. So if you do one webinar and it crushes, that's great. But if you want to do them back to back, you can do it like once every 2 weeks. And so you have 2 promotions. You can promote the live webinar, and it gives you a week to promote each. That's 4 weeks in the 30-day time period. So you can do 2 webinars, and that's going to give you double the chance or double the output of actually getting the clients. So I want to tell you a story. When I first got started with creating one of my programs, the thing is I used to do it like one by one, just prospecting, sales, and all that stuff, and I had some ads running. But when I transitioned and launching a new offer, and this also works really well for launching a new offer. So if you already have an offer and you want to start to launch a new one and make like 10 grand or whatever, 50 grand, 100 grand in a month, this is how I do it. So what I did was we had a live webinar and I scheduled it for say a week out, and I started promoting it for like 7 days, get everybody hyped up, get people registering for it. And then I did the live webinar, and in that first webinar, I made 20K, right? So I made 20K, boom, in that first webinar, and I sold about like 5-10 people into our program. And then from there, I did another live webinar the very next week, and then I made another 20K. I did another webinar the following week, and I made another 20K. So I made like 65, 60, 70K in about a month by doing these live webinars and getting people to join, getting them on the phone and signing them up. And so live webinars are great because it switches the dynamic and it switches the environment that they're in. They're used to getting people like pitched on through their actual DMs. They're getting pitched in their feed. They're getting pitched on ads. But when they're joining a webinar, you're giving them value, right? So again, it can be just a Zoom webinar. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, right? So you could just get on a live webinar, you give them value, and then at the end, you just give them a call to action. If they want to learn more, you want their help, then you can get on a one-on-one call and you can walk through the details and creating them a strategy to help them solve that problem and deliver that transformation that you just defined above, right? So here, what we want to do is we want to do a live webinar because it promotes your business. Again, it switches the environment, and it's a legitimate promotion where you can then kind of shake the tree. People that are on the fence, people that have been watching you, following you, or they may have no idea about you, you can go and do one of these, and then people will come in, they'll get to know you, and then again, you can bring them and bridge them over to get on a call with you, and you'll be able to generate a lot of calls like this. And one of my webinars I did about like 2 months ago, I made 65K in a day, right? So selling this and selling them into the program. So again, if you want to make just 10K in a month, then this is a great offer, especially if you have an email list or some sort of social following. If you don't have a following, don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this and how you can start to really get this dialed in. Now, the thing about this is when people hear the word live webinar, oh, I need to create like 100 slides, 300 slides. No, you don't need to do that. People overcomplicate this stuff way, way too much, okay? So I'll give you an example. The webinar that I did and that I made $65,000 on in one day. What I did was I basically had a Google Doc, what I'm showing you here, and I just gave them value. And I just had the points. It was on YouTube ads and how they can scale with YouTube ads, how they can generate 6 to 12 plus appointments every single day, inbound into their calendar, how to build their sales team and stuff like that. And so I just literally did and gave them a ton of value. I shared my screen with them. It was about an hour and 40 minutes. I dove right into that. And if you want to watch the webinar, I'll link it below. But anyways, the actual value that I gave at the end, I was like, look, if you want to learn more about how we can help you with this, go book a call and we'll see if it's a good fit, right? And so we had people book calls, and then we sold a few people into there, and we made $65K, right? So it's very simple, and I literally just used Zoom. I shared my screen, and I basically just gave value. I was me face-to-face and sharing my screen, and that's all you need to do. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's very simple, and I don't want you to overcomplicate it because the tools you have these days are so easy to make this available, and you should absolutely be doing this because you need to be promoting your business, okay? And so you're going to be doing this through the promotions, the live webinars, as well as outbound prospecting to start generating people in. And this is what I do. Again, if you need to make 10K, or you want to make 50K, 100K in a month, then this is good for shaking the tree, giving promotions, and I highly recommend you do this. Now, how would you do this? So, okay, now I need to run a live webinar, but how do I do it? And how do I do it with the least amount of time, least amount of effort, cost effectively, and without, spending hundreds of hours building slides and all these complex funnels and all this stuff? So very simply, what you're going to do is you're going to use Zoom, okay? So you already likely have a Zoom account. You could use Google Meet, that's free, but I recommend you use Zoom. So you could either use Zoom webinars, you can pay for the webinars, but you could just use a regular Zoom meeting and you just invite people to that meeting. And the thing is, you don't need these elaborate or complex or complicated, webinar softwares. You just need a Zoom account, okay? And you likely already have one. So you can do it, again, two ways. So you can just create a Zoom meeting, right? So you can just title it whatever the webinar title is, and I'm gonna show you how you can title it and all this stuff, but you're basically gonna title it, or you can use Zoom webinars and schedule a webinar where they can register for it. So they can register for the actual webinar, and then it's going to give a page where they can just enter it in. You don't need a landing page. You don't need funnels. You don't need any of this stuff. Just create a literal page where they can go and sign up for it, and you can just use that. And if you're using just the Zoom link, right, then when you're reaching out to people, you can then get them and just send them the Zoom link so they can add it to their Google Calendar, and then they just join the meeting, right? And then on the meeting, you're just going to treat it like a webinar, right? Treat it like, an actual webinar. They're going to be there. You're just going to mute everybody, and then you're just going to go explain what it is they're going to learn, and then you're going to share your screen. You're going to go into the stuff, and I'm going to show you all that, but it's going to be very, very simple. So you can either do a Zoom webinar, so you can go, I'm just going to show you this. So you can go to Zoom. So you can see inside of my Zoom account, you just go to schedule webinar. So if you have Zoom webinars, you have to pay for it, but you're just going to title it like YouTube ads, webinar, or whatever the case you want to title it. You're going to select, the time when you're going to have it. So you're going to select the date. You're going to select the time. You're going to select the duration. You're going to do the require passcode. You're going to turn that off ideally. You're going to have you as the host, and you're going to have this, right? And then you just schedule the webinar like that. Boom. And then what's going to happen, watch, I'll just show you this, right? Schedule the webinar. Then what's going to happen is it's going to give you a actual webinar invitation. So you can then copy the registration link, and then you can start promoting it, okay? So for here, you can go copy the invitation, right? And you can go send it to people. It's also going to give you a page, so you can go and see the page. So you're going to see here, there's the link to join the webinar. So if you go here, you can join the webinar. So you can just give people the link, or you can actually get them to register. So if here I said no registration required. So if you wanted to change that, you can obviously go edit, and you can go and require the registration, right? You can save that, and now you're going to get a registration page, right? So now you can see here registration, and then you can just copy it here. And this is the extent of a landing page of what you need. And they're just going to enter their name, email, and they're going to register, right? And so it's simple as that. So you can either do that, or you can just go and schedule an actual meeting. So you just go to meetings, and you just go and schedule a meeting here, right? And you just name whatever the meeting is, right? And then schedule it, same thing. And then you just promote the link, okay? So I'll show you how to promote, but that's the extent of what you need to do. You don't, again, need any elaborate, webinar softwares or anything like that. Just use Zoom, just schedule a meeting or schedule a webinar, and that's all you need. So that's the first thing you need to do. So now that you have your registration page, your Zoom link to promote the webinar, now we're going to be using our channels that we defined above to actually promote the webinar. So what we're going to do is we're going to post on your social medias about 5 to 7 days before the live webinar is happening. So literally every day you're going to go in there and you're going to basically post something like this: how niche or how to solve problem and get transformation. So for example, if you're like a high performance coach, you can say something like how to how to have more energy and vitality, and how to increase your performance so you can scale your business to 7 figures in the next 6 months without having to buy another course or without having to hire a personal trainer or something like that, right? And then you can do something like this, like I'm doing a training over Zoom where I'm going to show you exactly how you can grow your business to 6 figures, 7 figures without having to buy another program, right? Or whatever the case would be. And then you're going to hit them with benefit, and then you're going to have it's happening on this date and time. And then you can say, if you want to attend, right? Or if you want to join the training, just comment the like Zoom, or you can say like comment high performance or comment performance, and I'll send you the Zoom link to attend, right? You just say comment Zoom, then people are going to comment on it. So if you're on LinkedIn or if you're on Instagram or whatever channel you're using, you're going to use this. This is what I call a CTA post, right? You're going to do this, and then they're going to comment. Then you're going to reach out to them either in the DMs or you're going to just drop them the link. But I would reach out to them in the DMs, and then you're going to send them the link. So reach out via DMs and send them the Zoom/registration link. And then step number 3 is you're going to reach out to the people that you already connected with or that you do connect with, right? And you're going to ask them if they'd be interested in attending the training on how they can solve their problem, get their transformation, and if they want the link to let you know, and then you'll add them to the Zoom invite. So people are going to say, yeah, like I'd love to learn more about this, send me the link, or I'm interested, how do I register? Then you're going to reach out to them and you're going to send them the link, and then you're going to get them to register, join it, and then from there, you can like create a little bit of conversation, go back and forth a little bit. You can even try and book them on a call right then and there, but then get them on the training, and then after the training, you can reach out to all of these people that you sent the link to and that registered or attended, and you can hit those people up in the DMs, and I'm show you that process later on, but that's what you're going to do, get them to join, okay? Now, if you have an email list or social following, you can then, again, send a broadcast. You can put it in your stories and feed, and you can use something very similar to this. And then instead of here, the comment thing, you can just drive them straight to the webinar if you're using email. If you're using your social following, swipe ups, or whatever the case may be. But you're going to direct them to the registration and get the Zoom link, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this daily for 7 days, okay? So you're going to go and you're going to promote it. You're going to be sending it out, and you're going to be doing that. And you're going to be getting people interested to join the training, okay? So again, in between, every single day when you wake up, you're going to be reaching out to 20, 30 people a day, trying to book calls, whether it's on LinkedIn and Facebook. But let's say on LinkedIn, you're going to reach out to 20, 30 people a day and then try and get them onto a call. And then in conjunction with that, you're going to do 1 to 2 of these in a month. So if you think about the time frame, you're going to do it, let's say if you have 30 days, again, you want to make 10K in 30 days, you need to get 4 clients. So let's say on every 2 weeks, you're going to do this live webinar. So that gives you the first week to promote the first one. You're going to do the live webinar. Now you're going to promote another webinar on this week, and then you're going to conduct it on the following week. So that gives you this week to promote it, this week to do it, this week to promote it, this week to do it. And then I'll show you how you can even utilize the replay to get more people and get more calls and all that stuff as well. Now, to actually create the training, again, you don't need to do anything fancy. I told you I use a Google Doc, I made 65K in a day. So you're just going to create the training. You can use a Google Doc and just do face-to-face, right? So again, do not use any slides, because what will happen is you'll get caught up in the bullshit of just making it pretty, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be valuable and get people to convert into a call, okay? Really, it just needs to be valuable, because if it's valuable and you're over-delivering on the value, people are going to be like, wow, this guy gave me so much value, or this girl gave me so much value, I want to work with them, and then they're going to reach out to you and book a call, okay? So just prioritize the value. Don't prioritize any fancy stuff. Trust me, you'll start to overthink, and it's just you're not going to be able to get on this time frame, especially if you need to make 10K. This is what you got to do, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to conduct the training, and at the end, you're going to give the call to action at the end of the webinar to book a one-on-one strategy call with you, or one-on-one call, consultation, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to link them to Calendly. So if you don't have Calendly, sign up for it. Just create a 45-minute booking link, and then just fire them to Calendly, hook it up with Google Calendar, and boom, you should be good to go. Now, what you're going to do after the webinar is you're going to promote the replay for about 5 to 7 days. So you're going to use your social channels. You're going to be like, I just did this fire training on how you can scale on YouTube ads and how you can generate 8 figures with a sales team and how you can generate 6 to 12 inbound appointments every single day. If you want a link to the replay, comment YouTube, and I'm going to send you the link over, and I'm positive you're going to get massive value to it. Boom. Simple as that, right? People are going to comment replay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to send them the replay, continue the conversation, you're going to book them straight into a call, right? So while you're in the conversation, you're going to send it over to them, and then you're going to ask them a question, like, hey, John, like, I'm curious, like, are you currently utilizing YouTube ads or Facebook ads, or what are you currently using for generating appointments right now? And that's an example if I was selling YouTube ads training, right? Which is something that we do in our program, so that's something that I would use as like a hook to get them the conversation going, and they're like, oh, well, if you're interested, I'd love to show you how we can do this, this, and this, and solve your problem. Let's jump on a quick 10-minute chat, and I'd love to walk you through a little bit more details and create a custom strategy specifically for you. How does Tuesday or Thursday work for you? Boom, book them into a call. And then from there, just take the calls. Again, you need 35 calls, just 26 of them show up, and then boom, you close 4 of them, and you hit your 10K goal, okay? And again, you can get a lot more clients from this. So with both of those strategies I'm showing you, there's no reason why you can't just repeat this every month and get to like 50K a month, okay? Or even 100K a month. And then what you can do is you can also blast the replay to your email list, and then you're going to reach out to everybody you're connected with, so on whatever channel you're on, and you're going to hit them with like, I just did this amazing training. Do you want the replay? They say yes. Send it over. Continue the conversation. Book the call. Close. Right? And then again, you can just repeat this every 2 weeks. do the cycle and you're going to promote. Most people don't promote their business. Most people aren't producers. They're consumers. They're consuming content. They're doing this. You need to be a producer. Now, what you can do for the replay, I mentioned this here, is you can use Zoom's standard webinar recording page, or which looks like this. So you can see this is the webinar I did on how to use YouTube ads to scale to 7-8 figures. And you can see all the people that comment. So you can then just send this over to them, because at the end, you give them a call to action, right, to go book on a call, right? And then they're going to get on a call, and then you're going to close them, right? So you could do it that way, or you can just upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video, or even just not even unlisted, just upload it to YouTube and just title it whatever the name of the webinar is. And then in the description, just have one link. If you want to learn more, book a call, right? And that's it, right? And then you can just start promoting that to people. And then this, I'm telling you, if you do this in conjunction with the outreach, you should be able to get way more than 10K. But if you just want to hit your goal, then you can absolutely do this. And I'm telling you, you just need to start doing this stuff, and you're going to get there. So this is exactly what I would do, and this is exactly what I do whenever I want to make some sales, whenever I need to get additional clients, when I need to get additional appointments. I do this, I promote my business, I use the outreach. We do that every day regardless. I have appointments that are doing this process as well inside of our company, and we do live webinars about every quarter, or whenever we need to. We're going to need to do a promotion, we're going to do live webinar, or if I'm launching a new offer, I do this as well. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and again, hopefully you found massive value in it. And if you want, comment some more ideas of just some content you would like to see, whether it's on this type of stuff of prospecting, sales, or whatever the case would be. Comment below what type of content, and I'll be sure to create some more content like that. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.